In this video, I'm going to talk to you about the best time to post on YouTube. Now, you've probably heard this before, but I think this video might come in a little bit different. There might be a bit of a plot twist, so just stick with me. If you're new here, welcome. I'm looking forward to telling you a little bit more about myself. And if you've been here before, you've been keeping up with me and following my content, I'm so glad to see you. I know it's been a while, and that's especially why I'm excited to create this video. I've had a bit of an epiphany recently, which led me to creating this video. And it really started with some conversations I've been having with my cousin. I created this channel. I was very new to YouTube, learning as I go, figuring things out, stumbling along the way, having challenges with staying consistent, and even had some successes with videos that did much better than I expected. And at the time, given the size of my channel, I considered those to be viral. But fast forward, I created my last video maybe about 7 or even 8 months ago, and things have been very busy and I just have not had the chance to get back onto this channel to keep creating content. And so I've been talking to my cousin about this. She is much more experienced with creating content and having a channel on YouTube. She's been doing that for years, but she's also taken some time off. So a good part of the conversation we've been having is about getting back online and preparing to do this, and for her, figuring out which name. For me, it was largely waiting for that perfect time. I've had a lot of different things going on, and what started as 1 week turned into weeks and months, turned into quarters, couple of quarters, and so fast forward, here I am. I realized that time is waiting for no one. Time has not been waiting for me. It's not waiting for me to be ready. It's not waiting for my life situation and things to be perfectly calm so that I have the space to create the content. And the big realization that she and I have is when it comes to creating content, content really is about your life. Your life is the content. That means on those days, on those moments where I feel like, okay, what's going on with me is something I need to sit with. My life doesn't look perfect. I don't have the perfect story. I'm dealing with challenges. Even in those moments where it's not just about the highlight reels, where it's not just about the accomplishments and things going great, even in those moments, there's still meaningful content that's there and available to me that I can share with others. And I had to process and understand exactly what that means, because I didn't realize that with everything going on, I've been just sitting and waiting for that perfect moment. I really thought it was more about, okay, when things calm down. But honestly, I could even consider it procrastination, right? Just waiting for the perfect conditions to get going, for things to be in a good place, for things to look right from the outside. And sometimes you really do need to just find a way to use what you have, use the resources available to you, use the story as it is, being candid. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean putting all of your business out there, right? I think you do need to decide for you what you're comfortable with, what makes sense for you to share for your audience. But people don't just have good days. People have tough days and challenges. One of the things I've realized as I've been going through life, getting older, getting more experience, is you don't just have yourself to take care of anymore, but you have the people around you. So if you have kids in your life, you're dealing with that challenge. If you have parents getting older, you're dealing with that too and their adjustment. So all of these different things, work with what you already have, plan for yourself on your plate, right? So that might be work, the kids, caregiving for parents or others in your life, your personal pursuits, travel, all different types of interests and things that you might have, volunteering in your community, whatever it is. But at the end of the day, it's not just certain things happening by themselves in a silo with a bucket of time remaining so that you can use that time to create content. And so this has really pushed me and my cousin as we were having this conversation late last week. And on Friday, we decided, you know what? By the end of the weekend, we want to be able to create some piece of content. And for me, this is creating a video, this is getting back on YouTube. And on Saturday, I thought I'd probably do it, but I really was not in the headspace. I had other things to do. And one thing that always works for me is just getting the place cleaned up, and having clutter just slows down everything for me. But I think when you have a clean space, that really helps open up the possibilities. And so I spent a good chunk of the time yesterday on Saturday doing that cleanup. I feel so much better, and it also gave me time to prepare for today, Sunday, knowing that my goal was before the day ended and before even getting late into the afternoon, because later today I have a session that I'll be facilitating with a couple of friends. We're going to share our knowledge and teach one of my friends, family and friends, how to use Excel for budgeting. So I know I have a cutoff with creating this video, and so earlier today I started getting ready, prepped, got myself back into the headspace of creating a video and getting here to do it without everything being perfectly defined. I'm not doing anything crazy. You can see my setup here. I am sitting, I have my computer, I have my notes in front of me. I made a bulleted list of things that I wanted to talk about. I don't want to make it too complicated. I also want to speak through this video as much as possible so I can limit editing, because that is another thing that slows me down in the process. Editing can take a long time. With my prior setup before I paused creating videos, my computer was older, and so my editing software, it just took forever. And so that's been part of the things that I've been working on, is just how can I simplify that process? How can I speak through the video if possible so that I have limited editing to do and this does not slow me down? One of the things I wanted to actually go through here, understanding that life is the content, knowing that I've taken about 7 or 8 months off from creating content, I decided to turn that around and think about what did I actually miss. The reason why I had the time off is because I felt like I had so much going on and I didn't have the time. If life is content, life has been happening, life has been lifing, and so I did an inventory. I went through all of my pictures. I am that friend who is always grabbing pictures and videos of different events and things going on. So it's always an easy way for me to look back and see what was happening at a point in time. So I went through that. I made a list of things by month so I can see what events happened in the last 7 or so months where I didn't create content. And what this made me realize is these were all opportunities where I could have brought value to my audience. I could discover new things that might be of interest based on what I'm doing and share that with people. Now, are they all highlight stories? Are they all accomplishment type stories? No, they're absolutely not. Some of them are challenging things that I've been dealing with, but this could be helpful for someone else. I'm probably not the only person dealing with this. Someone else might be dealing with the same thing in silence, not having a resource, not having somewhere to turn to, not having someone else's experience or lessons. And I look at those things, and as I got this list together, to me, it's almost like a missed opportunity. So I think that's definitely a big takeaway that I have for myself. And I hope that might be something that you think about as well. If you've taken time off, if you're procrastinating, if you haven't gotten started with your channel, if you did and you've dropped off and you're looking to figure out when to get back on, there's a lot of things happening in the background, and it's a matter of you showing up and telling that story. And that's what I'm here to do today, to hold myself accountable, keep myself in motion, keep myself moving. And with my cousin doing the same thing, I know I have an accountability partner, and I know I'm going to have to report back to her later today to let her know if I created this video or not. Now, I might not necessarily post it today. Like I said, I have a session later on, so I probably won't have time to make any edits. But once it's done, that is a big chunk of the work right there, right? To show up, to know that I have gotten in front of the phone. I'm not even using like an actual camera, but to know that I've gotten in front of the phone and I am sitting down to create this content, to speak to you all and share what's been going on and share my lessons and hopefully find it valuable. So I'm gonna go down this list and I'll try to give some highlights. I don't know if I'll get through everything. I know this video is already getting long, but I just want to give you a sense of things that have been happening that could be an opportunity to speak on. And if these items, as I'm going through them, resonate with you, you want to hear more, please drop a comment down below so that we can figure out how this fits into my themes for this channel, and I can work on creating a video around that with more details. So shortly after I created and published my last video I had published while I was on holiday in the Caribbean, and once I got back from that trip, right away I jumped into apartment hunting. There's a prior video that I had made about my housing situation and what's been going on for a couple of years now, which is crazy. crazy to think about. But where I was staying at the time was not intended to be longer term housing. So as the months went by, I decided, you know what, I think it's time that I find another place to live. At least I won't have the anxiety of feeling like I have to move, if they want me to at any point in time. So once I got back, I started looking at different places and different options and visiting apartments, juggling the time to make that happen, to get out there and see them. And I landed on one. Because it was around the fall time, I also picked up with my adjunct professor teaching role. So every new semester is always fun to see where the students start and then also seeing their transformation at the end of the semester. So I was getting back into that. There were still some nice days as summer was winding down. And then one of the big things that I did around that time, I had a half marathon. So this was my second year doing a half marathon. The first time I did it, I had more of a community around me. I had some runner friends who I was running with. I had run groups that I was showing up to. But because I had moved and my situation had changed with everything going on, it was not as easy for me to get back to those meetups anymore. So I did a lot of that training on my own. If you are interested in a half marathon, you haven't done one before, you want to know where to start, I would love to get into that topic and talk a little bit about that in a future video, so definitely let me know. One thing I want to say about the half marathon, which I'm super proud of, is having it being my second time and training on my own for that time. I cut off 8 minutes from my time, so it was a new PR for me, so I was extremely proud of that. I wanted to get in under 2 hours. I didn't do it. I was a couple of minutes over, but I was still really, really proud knowing that I was able to cut my time down as much as I did, and I didn't have any professional trainers or anything, and I didn't have the motivation of the run groups and some of my friends who were running. I just showed up with my plan, with my running schedule. I showed up for myself and try to be as consistent as possible. So I need to take some learnings from that and bring that over into this YouTube realm and keep that consistency going. Next, it was really the next day or two after I finished that race. I actually was feeling pretty good. Usually I have some soreness after these bigger races, but I was actually feeling really good. And regardless, I had to jump right into preparing for the move. So I had to start bringing things over into the new apartment. I had gotten the keys already. And because my items had been in storage, I made a decision to get them out. And so that delivery was happening. After that, I spent really those couple of days working through unpacking, getting all the logistics sorted out, and then because that new apartment was so small, figuring out what items to donate and which ones I actually decided to keep. So that continued on for quite a while. Then October came and I started in a new role. So I started in a new role leading a technology team. The team is over 40 or so people, and it's just a very interesting time to be leading people, to be in the technology space, particularly with AI and all the expectations around that and what leadership looks like and addressing the needs of people in this current moment. As people are in the job market, there's a lot that we're seeing right now and everything that's happening, and I definitely have a perspective on this, so I would love to share some of that if you're interested in hearing from a career perspective what I see working, where people need to lean in, how they can leverage AI for their work to better enhance their opportunities. Let me know in the comments, because we hear a lot from people who are more junior in their experience, but as a leader in the space, it also provides me with a unique point of view. And complementing that with being an adjunct professor as well, I can see the pipeline of where people are starting with what they're learning and then how they're coming into the workforce. One of the other things that was somewhat new to me that I hadn't done in a while was taking a work trip, not just driving, but actually flying. And I hadn't done that for a while, and a couple of years actually, because previously I would travel almost every week by plane, and so just the logistics of that was something new and different. As fall continued, I enjoyed the weather, got outside, did some hiking. I had some talks about people with multiple interests. This is what this channel was created for and about. And this has been a topic that's been very interesting to me over the years as someone who has a lot of different interests and a lot of different things that I pursue in different seasons of my life. I really want to break down the stigma around it. And I think honestly in this day and age, it's something that can set people apart, especially when you have roles changing, opportunities changing because of technology. People really need to be more versatile, need to be more nimble with how they explore different opportunities and also how they find ways that they can generate value. And oftentimes that's not going to look the traditional way. Very relevant topic. So if that is one that is interesting to you and you'd like to hear more, let me know down in the comments. The time continued on, then November came about, and I would not imagine that this would have been happening, but my whole housing situation that I've been dealing with came up because there was a fire and water damage because of that fire. And to my shock, in the new apartment I moved into, there was a fire, and I was there. It happened at nighttime. It was just very traumatizing to me. I had to rush and leave the building, and the days following that was, going back and forth with management. I was experiencing discomfort. I was just not comfortable being there and continuing to stay there. And then of course, because I've experienced this before and I know what things need to happen, I had certain questions. After going back and forth with them, ultimately I was able to get out of my lease. And so that then put me on the hunt to find a new place again. I ended up finding time to look for new places, look for new apartments. Saturday morning, instead of just relaxing or doing other things, I was running out to meet up with different agents to see new places. And, thankfully it worked out that I landed on something. I had a couple of weeks where I really needed to make a decision and find something. And thankfully that worked out. But then that put me back into the cycle of preparing to move again, packing, identifying movers, and I ended up spending Thanksgiving weekend making the move because, obviously you have the holiday, you have a couple of days in between there, you had the weekend. Again, totally unexpected, not a highlight reel type of situation, but you have different things that pop up, whether in your life, with your housing, you have to move quickly, you have to make decisions, you have to keep your head clear and still keep your spirits up and work through it. So that was my situation. And of course, thinking about content was the last thing on my mind at the time, although I do have some pictures of some of these events as they were happening. Then moving into the apartment just meant going back again to the unpacking, getting organized, putting things where they need to be, figuring out what I need to keep, and just very similar story, but totally unexpected that I would be back in that cycle and doing that again. I did find some time to do some fun things. I did get to some live sporting events, which was fun. Of course, with the holiday season coming and Christmas displays and Christmas markets, did get outside a little bit. As I mentioned earlier, one of the challenges with creating videos for YouTube before and with my existing laptop is just how slow it was and how it just did not have the strength to take on any heavy editing software. So over the holidays, I ended up buying a new laptop, which allowed me to download some new editing software. So that's been exciting. It will also allow me to upload videos in 4K. The software I was using before with the free version didn't allow that. So hopefully that is a better experience for you all, and allows me to feel more proud of the quality of video that I'm creating for you. So I'm excited to continue to learn about the software and use it. This will be the first video that I am using that, and I'm really interested to see what the quality will look like. Now in this case, I am filming with the front facing camera, not the back camera, so that's another opportunity that will allow me to have some higher resolution. So I'll try that for future videos, just using the back camera, and see what the quality looks like. Then of course it was the holiday season, so actually getting into Christmas, spending time with family, so that was really nice, good for the soul, good to just calm down a little bit with everything that was going on, all the craziness. And then at the end of the holiday season and getting into the beginning of the year, I had a trip to get to see some national parks, which was really fun. It included some camping, it included hiking up the Guadalupe Mountains and the highest peak in Texas. Did it in record time, really how long it usually takes folks. So I was really proud of myself for that. And that was just nice to get away, have a little trip, be outside in nature, be grounded. I love getting outside. I love being in nature. Even if it was cold, I still worked through that. I still had fun camping and had those hot hands packs and different things to keep me warm. It worked out really well. As the new year was beginning, I had a faculty conference and I spoke at that conference. I've done that for a few years, always a really fun time. And I had some friends from college who were able to visit me. So they visited for the weekend. This is the first time that I was able to host them in a number of years with everything going on. So that was quite a big deal. They got to see my new place, got to see the new neighborhood. So we had a good time. It's always nice to have them visit, and whether they're coming to me or I'm going to them, we usually try to rotate and spend some time in each of our cities. Other than that, winter was just a rough one this year. It seemed to go on forever. That was a personal challenge as someone who is from the Caribbean and just generally enjoys warmer weather. Winter is just always a challenge, but made it through. As spring has been coming along, I have been preparing for a race, and that race was my first trail race. Most of my races up to this point have been road races. In the fall, I got to attend and support for a trail race, but I never actually done one myself. So I prepped coming into spring for that, and it was new and different. Meant getting new shoes and everything, and obviously not just running on the road, but actually getting out on the trail and preparing for that, because it's just a different beast than road races. In a lot of ways, I personally find it harder, but it was a good experience. I've also been focusing on things that save me time, things that make things a little easier. I'm not a beauty creator by any stretch of the imagination, but I did get a Rev Air tool, which is a dryer, but it also kind of straightens the hair out. It helps detangle my hair. As my hair has been getting longer, it's been harder and harder to manage. So it was time for that trail race. I didn't start light with getting into trail racing. This was actually a half marathon. It was intense. There was lots of elevation and hills. I walked some of it, but I finished. So I was proud of myself for making it through that. I was not at all going for time like I do with my road races. This was more about getting it done, getting to the finish line, and I did so without any injuries. I did so safely, so I'm proud of myself for that. Last month, I also took a trip to Costa Rica. That was really awesome. Just getting away, the volcanoes, hiking, the hot springs, the rainforest, all the different animals. The food was amazing. Getting down to some of the harder to reach national parks like Corcovado down in Drake Bay. It was just a really great time, and I enjoyed that trip. And that could be another video. That could be a travel video. I have a couple of those that I've created here because it's something that I really enjoy. Shortly after that, I had another race. This one was a little less intense. It was a road race, a 10-miler, and it was in the cold. That part was a challenge, but the race itself was a lot of fun, and I was able to beat my time from when I did it a couple of years ago. The last time I did it was 2 years ago. I was able to cut down my time on that race. So it's a new PR for that particular race, so I am excited about that. Fast forward to now. All these last few things happened recently, and you can actually see all the different things that happen. Opportunities there to create content, to share what was going on, share what I've been learning, sharing how to do certain things. And these were missed opportunities. Instead, I was waiting for everything to calm down, some of the challenges I've been dealing with, for those things to be resolved. And that's not happening. That is the reality that I have to face. It is not happening. Life continues to move. Time is passing. Time is waiting for no one. Time is not waiting for me. The challenge for me going forward is to figure out how to continue to create content, block out the time, use what's going on, the lessons, and not miss those opportunities, even if the story isn't perfect. From what you heard me go through, there are some highlights, things that I'm proud of, but also some rough situations of the multiple moves, dealing with another fire, having to run out of the building. That's just not easy, but it's the reality. And so I am really trying to come to terms with working with the content that I have. That is essentially the material, that is my real life material, and finding different ways that I can package it up and share that with you all and continue the momentum that I've had here on YouTube. When I started on YouTube, like I said, I got some good momentum. I even made it to having over 1,000 subscribers. The watch hours are also building up, and since I've stopped, a lot of that has dialed back. I'm now under 1,000 subscribers, and I'm looking forward to getting back up to that. And I've also lost watch hours because it's a rolling count, and because time has passed, I've lost some of those months where I had some really good traction on the channel. So I'm looking forward to just getting back to all of these things and course correcting, giving myself grace in the process. But now I know what I need to do, And this epiphany here that life is the content is really giving me some new motivation to use what I have to keep going. So if you are dealing with something similar, if you are looking to start your channel and you're looking for the perfect niche, trying to figure it out, waiting for that perfect moment, waiting for the equipment, all the gear, or if you've already started and for whatever reason you are experiencing burnout or things went in a different direction than you planned, you are having challenges coming back, not just with the logistics of it, but also the confidence, trying to figure out what type of content to create. Are you ready? Second guessing yourself, and even coming up with all these different tasks and things to do in the meantime while you quote unquote prepare. The reality is a lot of that ends up being procrastination. You don't need a lot to start. You don't need a lot to get going. The mic I'm using right now, which I have clipped on me, this is a lapel mic that costs less than $30. I have my phone, like I mentioned. I'm not using a camera. I am sitting by the window, so I have some lighting from that, but I also have a light here. But other than that, you don't need a lot. You really just need to show up. That is the biggest thing, is to get out of your head and come and share your content. Because what I've seen from starting this channel is that there are people who find value in what you are doing, in what you are saying. And that has honestly been one of the best parts of this. And I'm so grateful for the people who decided to take their time and watch my videos and comments. And so that's why, as I was getting comments, I tried so hard to keep up with responding to everyone, because I really do value, and I've just been blown away that people are taking time to watch a video by little old me. Okay, little old me who simply has a deep desire to share information, to teach others, to not gatekeep, to help people advance themselves. This is why I created this content. This is why I teach. This is why I mentor. This is why I'm having the session later on today with my friends and their families, so that we can help enable people to get the information that they need and use it to achieve the goals that they have. And that is my simplest goal for being here. I appreciate your time. Thank you for watching this video if you made it this far. And like I said, if there are any topics that I mentioned of things that have happened, things that I've experienced that are meaningful to you, that you would love to hear more about, let me know down in the comments. Or if you have other ideas too that you think you'd be happy for me to speak on, I'd love to know. Thank you again for watching. I am sorry for the long pause. I missed you all. I am excited to be back, and I'll see you soon in the next video.